Ladies and gentlemen, we missed last week, but we are back with episode 6 of Run Out the Clock. Just some scheduling issues last week. We were only going to be able to have one of us, so we just had to call it. But we are back for this week, and honestly, a lot happened in football, both sides of the ball last week, and then this week just looks like it's to be another big weekend. But I'm one of your hosts, Spot.
Oh man, I'm another one of your hosts, Rod. Man, we got a lot to talk about from the college side and also from the NFL side. But first, we are going to dive into some college football. Obviously, right now, currently, there is a game going on. It is Virginia and it's Florida State. Let me see, what's the score of the game right now? I think it's like all tied up.
Thirty-five,
Florida State,
35.
yeah, 35-35 with you know 26 seconds left. So really good game. Team Marie wants to come up.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll send the link. You can send it to her spot. But yeah, no. You know, we're gonna talk about week 4, and then we're gonna dive into week 5, which is tomorrow. Dive into all of that. And where do you want to start, Spot?
Oh man,
Start with week 4, man.
let's start with our like the team we had that had the biggest question mark on them from the beginning of the season because during our preview, me, you, and Tommy and D'Lo had no idea what this hype on Illinois was about. Judging from last week, it wasn't much. They got smacked by Indiana.
Man. I didn't watch any of these games last week. I was in Indianapolis. Oh, pick. Florida State pick. Game's over. Um um but I didn't watch any of these games. I kind of just looked at the scores and stats. Um, yeah, honestly, Illinois just got trounced.
Yeah,
Like this was never close, like at all. Did you end up watching this game, Spot?
I kept an eye on all of them. I couldn't really watch them. I was in Austin for the UT game, but from what, yeah, from the score tells the whole story there. Honestly,
Illinois, man. I never bought the hype into them. As you know, as kind of like you said, you never bought into it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't buy into their hype. They weren't getting much coverage. Not a lot of people even really talked about them. To be honest, man, I like this was bound to happen. Like I could have never envisioned 63-10. Honestly,
yeah.
I didn't. I just never thought that that would even happen. Um, what's up, T?
What's up?
Oh no.
Um, but yeah, I never thought that Illinois would get smacked like this. But hey, maybe Indiana's for real. I guess we're
Yeah,
about to find
could
out
be it.
because Indiana this week is about to. I don't know if they have like actually a tough matchup this week, but let's see who
Yeah.
Indiana faces. The Hoosiers.
Oh,
So the Hoosiers they're gonna face Iowa.
mm,
Should be a pretty good game.
right.
They're only
It's hard to
favored by
score on
eight and
them.
a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indiana. I mean, I really didn't think, but it seemed like to me, if I'm just looking based off box score, I don't know. I'd have to look. Luke Altmaier. I never even thought he was really all that great. Um, like, yeah, he's just not. He wasn't that good. And didn't they have that scare a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken?
So
Almost
with
to
Duke,
Duke.
it was it was like a scare, but it wasn't really. So I was
They
gonna give
kind
them
of
grace
blew the
on that
doors.
one, but
They blew the doors open in like the third
it took a
or
little too long to
fourth.
get
But
there, though. That's the only
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and that's kind of like that was my first flag where I was like, "Ooh, okay, this team can definitely be beaten." And this week we're going to talk about this matchup a little bit later, but they're going to face USC, who
Yeah.
obviously is under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Explosive offense. We'll see how they do there, but we'll kind of dig into that matchup later. But Illinois is in trouble.
For
Illinois
Illinois,
is in a lot of
every
trouble.
game here is must win because
Yep.
they the only loss they can really afford is Ohio State.
Yeah. TCU's playing right now. They're playing Arizona State right now. So it's like 17-7 right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Question. Russell Spot. Do you think that Indiana should still be ranked?
Illinois, you mean?
Or Illinois? Illinois. My bad.
Um,
I don't think
honestly,
they
with these
should.
early
63 to
weeks,
10.
I'm not. Yeah, yeah, that's real, honestly. But at the same time, they still have Notre Dame ranked, who has 2 losses.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Notre Dame's a different story. Wait, not Notre Dame. Who was it? Who did they have that had 2 losses last week ranked? Clemson.
Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. They're at number. Wait, they're not in the.
They're not ranked right now. Currently,
They're
they
not
got
ranked
taken
right
out.
now. They're
There
not
was a
ranked.
They're not
2-loss
ranked
team
yet.
that was ranked last week. Oh, it
But
was A&M because they lost to
they
Miami,
yeah,
and
yeah.
no, I'm sorry, Notre Dame
Clemson
because they
was
lost to
ranked.
Miami and A&M. Yeah.
Clemson was ranked a couple of weeks ago. We can get into this next game. Oklahoma survives Auburn, 24-17.
It's looking
Just
scary for them though.
yeah. Just start. I just want to start off by saying that John Mateer is going to be out several weeks. They're saying he has like a broken bone in his throwing hand.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're going to be without their star quarterback, who was obviously a big part of their offense. He was also, a Heisman candidate. And they beat a tough, gritty Auburn team. This Auburn team is not to be overlooked. And to be quite honest, Oklahoma was able to pull it out. Very impressive win. This week, Oklahoma's going to face. Do they face anybody this week? Let's see.
They might have it off. I know. Yeah, I think they might have it off.
So Oklahoma doesn't face anybody this week. So good thing for them. And next week, they're going to get Kent State. So 2 of the weeks that they're going to be without John Mateer, they are going to get somewhat of like a bye week. Because Kent State, I'm going to consider that a bye week.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that great. But right after that, they're going to get into the Red River rivalry, which is obviously going to be a very tough game against Texas.
I'd say with that game, with that injury, that makes that game a whole lot more interesting because if Oklahoma doesn't have a quarterback, they still got a hell of a defense. Same thing with
Right.
Texas. If Archer doesn't come to play, they still got a hell of a defense. So
Yep. Oklahoma's defense to me has been very it's been the surprising part of their season. Obviously, I had no idea beforehand who John Mateer even was, but you can kind of like have a semblance of what this team could look like offensively. But Oklahoma is, I think their calling card this year, for as great as John Mateer has played, I think their calling card has been defense, which is not something that we're used to seeing from an Oklahoma team, because for years, this team was head coached by Lincoln Riley, which the calling card was never defense, but it was just pure electric offense. And I think just seeing that Oklahoma has become this staple of defense, now that they are in the SEC and defense has always kind of been a calling card of the SEC, it's pretty crazy to see. So I mean, look, they survived Auburn last week. It was almost a scare. They're 4-0. Things look very bright. They're not out of it. I just want to say that, even though their quarterback is going to be out for a couple of weeks, they're going to get they're going to basically get 2 weeks here of a bye. Let's say, okay, he's missing this week. It's the bye. He's going to miss Kent State. Okay, that's basically your second bye. They're going to play Texas. They're probably going to lose to Texas. Can they keep that loss in close distance? Possibly. Okay. If that happens, let's say he misses South Carolina game. Now you're talking 4 weeks. If he can come back for that Ole Miss game, and you're talking, you can beat Ole Miss, you can beat Tennessee, you can beat Alabama, you can beat Missouri, and then by the end of the year, you're there and you're going to face LSU at home. You got yourself a shot to getting into the playoffs. So It's not over yet for them. As long as their only loss within the next couple of weeks is to Texas, if they can get a win over South Carolina and potentially have John Mateer back for Ole Miss, then they are in prime position to still be in the postseason.
Speaking of Ole Miss, they're playing LSU tomorrow at 3:30. So yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna cover that game in a bit. This is you got anything you want to say about the Oklahoma Auburn game?
Oh man, I don't love Oklahoma. I love that Auburn is gonna just ruin a bunch of seasons this year because they're not gonna be a playoff team by no means, but I feel like they might. Alabama might go on a stretch here, and then it looks like they're a team that can knock them off again. Whoever else they have on the schedule, I feel like there's gonna play spoil for a lot of playoff teams this year.
Right.
What's up, Deontay? Teamer, do you watch college a lot or no?
Yeah, I've watched college ever since I moved down here. I started watching college. My dad got me invested into college, so I'm a Bulldogs fan. So tomorrow's a tough game because
Hmm.
it's Alabama.
Yeah, tomorrow's a big one. We're gonna
Yeah,
talk about that one a little bit later. Oh wait, FSU and oh yeah, FSU's in overtime right now with UVA. It's
yeah,
38-35 right now. Let me see. Instead, honestly, I think that Oklahoma's defense can carry them to 3 of those. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look, if Arch Manning is gonna play the way that that he's played for a majority of the season, I'm not gonna lie. If Oklahoma finds a way to win that game, they are in like the greatest of positions.
yeah.
If somehow, some way, Oklahoma can find a way to to beat Texas, um, with their defense, the defense that has carried them a majority of the year. I mean, they're in flawless position. I mean, then you're thinking to yourself, maybe we can, they go ahead, they beat Texas. If they can beat South Carolina, maybe you can extend John Mateer's timeline of maybe, hey, we'll sit him for another week, you know, and then then it becomes a thing of like picking your poison. When do you want to bring him back? We want to bring this guy back as healthy as we possibly can, so that way he can contend and he can be there for when we do make the playoffs, if we make the playoffs. So the whole thing is kind of getting John Mateer back at a point in time when he feels comfortable and when he's the healthiest he can be.
Yeah. If
Because
he, I'm not
now
gonna
the
lie, if
team,
he has to miss Texas, he has to miss Texas. But
well, he's
um,
he's undoubtedly going to miss Texas just
yeah.
because they do say the
Did they say
timeline is
the
as
PTA?
minimum as 4 weeks. They do
Yeah. Okay.
they
Yeah, he's
said the
out.
timelines at minimum as 4 weeks. So that leaves that obviously is this week, the Kent State game, the Texas game, and the South Carolina game. So he's gonna miss those 4 weeks. Now, you want to bring him back for Ole Miss? I really do believe if within the next 3 weeks they beat Kent State, they beat Texas, and they beat South Carolina, I, I'm not gonna lie, that Ole Miss game, I'm almost I'd almost be thinking to myself, if I'm Oklahoma, why not leave him out again? I
Right.
mean, get them a little bit more healthier, um, and hope that you beat Ole Miss. But even if you lose to Ole Miss in what could be a close game because their defense is going to keep them in these games, you still have a shot because you're going to play LSU. You're going to play who else are they going to play? I believe they're going to play Alabama. They have a lot of ranked opponents
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, they do. Ole Miss has a lot of ranked up opponents from what I'm looking at.
So Oklahoma's going to play Tennessee right after Ole Miss. They're going to play Alabama. They're going to play Missouri, and then they're going to cap off the year by playing LSU. Um,
Oh yeah, and
I
they're
mean,
playing
they're still going to
Georgia.
have a shot.
Ole Miss and Georgia. That's another one.
That should be pretty good.
Yeah.
So if I'm Oklahoma, if I'm the Oklahoma fans, I'm just, I'm not panicking yet. See how it
Right.
goes. If you can beat Texas, you're in great position. I wouldn't even worry about, obviously this week they're on a bye. I wouldn't even worry about next week. Kent State is going to get absolutely rolled by. Um, if they can beat Texas, then if I'm Oklahoma fans, then I'm like really like I can lay back and I can really start to really think about, okay, when do we want to bring John Mateer back?
Yeah.
So
That Texas game,
um
regardless they got a backup or not, it's gonna be close.
it's gonna be
Rivalry.
close. It is. Um then we can talk about this one. Uh Texas Tech takes care of this was my pick to win the Big 12. Utah. Unfortunately they
Same.
lost.
That was changed on
And
too.
I remember Spot at the beginning of the year saying something along the lines of like Texas Tech, watch out. You know, a lot of people were saying, a lot of reporters were saying Texas Tech was a team to watch out. There was a lot of hype behind them because of all the transfers that were coming to Texas Tech, and it seems that Texas Tech they're rolling right now. They beat Utah 34-10. Stellar performance from them. What do you think about this one, Russell Spot?
Oh man, so it looks like I don't want to say that the hype was real just yet, but looks like some of it was. Honestly, not. I don't think this is a bad look for Utah yet. Regardless, they still got a shot at the Big 12 title. They still look really impressive in all their other games, but this game says more about Texas Tech than it does about Utah. Just kind
Right.
of solidifying some of those doubts. Huh? Just what are they ranked now? Like
12.
12th, yeah.
Yeah,
Deserving. They look
I
good.
I didn't think they'd be this high, honestly.
Right.
I didn't. I honestly didn't even think so. I didn't think they'd be this good in the season. But hey, they proved me wrong. I didn't think this was a team that could realistically, they only have really one good win so far, which is against Utah.
Yeah.
The rest of, they obviously their first 3 weeks they just blew by teams. But over the next couple of weeks, you're gonna get Houston, tough team. Kansas is a tough team. You're gonna get
Right.
Arizona State, that's a tough team. Oklahoma State, I mean, they suck. They just fired their head coach. Kansas
Oh
State
god.
Yeah, yeah.
sucks.
Oh my god.
They're gonna get BYU, and then they're gonna get UCF. We'll see what UCF looks like by the end of the year, but so far they look good. And then they're gonna end off the year with West Virginia. But they got some quality opponents over these next 3-4 weeks. So they're gonna show they're gonna see. We're gonna
Right.
see what they can show us. And just like Ian said right here in the chat, it's a team that can play spoiler. They're gonna be tough. They're gonna be a tough team to go up against. So if you're one of the higher seeds in the playoffs, if you're in Ohio State, if you're a Penn State, if you're potentially in Oregon,
Right.
if you're a Miami, a LSU, a Georgia, I mean, this is a team that you don't really want to see come playoffs.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Texas Tech could play spoiler for one of those teams in the top 5, whoever does end up 1 or 2.
Right.
That covers that game. We're gonna talk about Nebraska now. Nebraska obviously lost to Michigan, 30-27. Look, I come out of this game. Obviously, I didn't really watch any of these games, but this one I definitely watched some highlights. Okay, so Nebraska lost. To me, Nebraska didn't really lose this game just for the simple fact that coming out of this game, I view them as potential threats. I do view
agree.
them
I
as a team.
agree.
I do view them as a team that can play spoiler to a lot of teams. I mean, I don't know what their schedule looks like, but if they do have some ranked opponents, I wouldn't be surprised if they can definitely play spoiler to knocking some ranked opponents down in their rankings. They're gonna play USC, and then they're obviously gonna play my team, Penn State, which they're gonna play at Penn State. That's gonna be I think either of those two games, they can play spoiler. This is a really good team. They're well coached. Obviously, they got Dylan Raiola, who's a mimic of Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, Michigan did run the ball down their throats. I don't know how I feel about Bryce Underwood. I can't get behind him yet. I don't think he's that good. But then again, I think he's a true freshman, if I'm not mistaken. I think he is a true freshman. Let's see. About to find out.
Wait, who is it? Undermeyer?
No, Bryce Underwood, quarterback
Right.
from Michigan. I think he is a true freshman. Yeah, he's a true freshman.
Yeah.
He obviously hasn't sold me, but then again, he's literally on a team that has a really good defense,
Right.
has a really good running game, and they don't have to rely on the quarterback to make these elite plays. Michigan doesn't really scare me this year, but Nebraska is somebody who could play spoiler. They're threats, and they're gonna be tough to play. Virginia up 46-38.
Yeah. From the past I've seen with Nebraska, I feel like they are a sleeper. That's one of the teams I feel like that's going to sneak into the playoffs. As much as people don't want to hear it, they're going to sneak into the playoffs the way they're playing.
Well, I don't know if Nebraska could really sneak in just because they only play 2 ranked opponents this year. They only play USC and then they play Penn State. They'd have to really do damage in those games to really even attempt to make the postseason. But they're a team that can get a pretty good bowl game. They could be ranked. Maybe they can get high as 15, maybe. I'm not sure. It would really depend. It would really depend on if they beat the brakes off USC. They would have to beat the brakes off Penn State.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to have some help from some of the other teams to lose. But no, I don't think they'll make I don't think they'll make the playoffs just because it'd be too tough. They would have had to have beaten Michigan. They would have had to go undefeated the whole year. for them to
Right.
even be ranked. So nah, I don't think they'll be ranked. Um, Russell Spar, you here?
No, he's
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
okay.
What do you think about Nebraska? Or in that game with Michigan?
I don't think they. I don't think that, like Kenny, like you said, should reflect as a loss on them. Played a very tough Michigan game. Underwood, ah, man, I had high hopes for him. It's not looking too great, but he's a true freshman. But
Right.
kind of going along with what Rod said, I don't think they'll make the playoff. They would
Right.
have to show out, but like kind of like Auburn, I think they're gonna play spoiler.
Right. That's yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Notre Dame. So
Ooh.
Notre Dame has so far started the season 1-2. The question is, are they out of playoff contention? So here's the thing. I'm not gonna look at their schedule just to see if even it's even possible that they can even make the postseason. Because as of right now, they're ranked 22nd, and they play only one ranked team the rest of the way.
Unfortunately, college the playoff committee won't say it, but Notre Dame is allowed up to 3 wins. I mean 3 losses. I'm
Three
sorry.
losses.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see what you're saying, but they only play one ranked team, and believe it or not, that one ranked team is just USC. And who knows if USC, by the point that they face them in about 5 weeks, is even going to be ranked.
Right.
So let's say that USC isn't ranked by that point. Then
Yeah.
they face no ranked teams. Do they still even make it? Even though all of their wins this year are against non-ranked teams.
You saying if they beat USC?
I'm saying, like, let's say by the point that they face USC, right, Notre Dame, that USC is unranked. Do you think that Notre Dame still makes the playoffs, even though that all of their wins are only against unranked teams?
Unfortunately,
I don't think so.
Unfortunately, I think this is a team that lost. Granted, they got big wins, but this is a team that lost to Northern Illinois last year.
Right. That is. Yep.
But mind you, last year they at least have a rank. They at least had a.
They had a win over
I think.
A&M at A&M. I'll give you that. Yeah.
This year they wouldn't have a ranked win.
It's a it's a funny committee, man. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I really don't think they'd. Me personally, I don't think they'd be in. Even if they beat USC, I'm not confident that they're in. Because their schedule is so weak from here on out. Arkansas, I mean, that's not a quality win. Boise State, that's not a quality win. NC State, that's not a quality win. US, depending what they look like in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Boston College, not a quality win.
Nah.
Navy, Pitt, not a quality win. Syracuse, not a quality win. Stanford, definitely not a quality win.
Right.
So, I mean, to be quite honest, they shouldn't make the playoffs, if I'm being honest. Looking at the schedule, I mean, for them to have made the playoffs, they would have had to have beaten Miami and beaten Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I think they're done.
Yeah, they're finished. It's like no way. No way.
They'd have to like really luck out. They're gonna have to win every game from now on and get some help from some other teams to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would take Miami.
It'd take a miracle at this point.
Team like Bama to ultimately just fall apart again for the rest of the season, which I don't see happening. But you never know. You never know.
All right, now we can get into this upcoming week of college football. So we're gonna have number 21 USC versus number 23 Illinois. Can Illinois bounce back?
I'm gonna say no. USC. It's USC at home, right?
Yes.
Wait.
I got USC.
They're at home.
Wait. Oh yeah, USC. They're at home. Yeah, they're at home. Illinois is at home.
No, Illinois. Oh yeah, no, Illinois is at home.
Illinois is at home.
I'm still gonna take USC. I think Illinois just.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
Look, the USC. You know, especially I'll say their quarterback. What's his name? Mayava. Jaden Mayava. He's been
Yeah.
playing great. Lincoln Riley has Jaden Mayavi in that core playing really good. They're not a team that people are really looking at, but if I'm being honest, I'd start watching out. We know what a Lincoln Riley offense can do, and he has a good quarterback back there. As long as Lincoln Riley has a good quarterback with a nice set of receivers, forget the defense. That team can score at will, and they're gonna play spoiler to a lot of teams. They might make the playoffs, maybe. They do have, they're gonna go against Illinois, another ranked team right now. They're gonna play. They still have a Michigan team that they're gonna play. They're still gonna play Notre Dame. Um, they got Oregon. They have some ranked matchups. If they can somehow find a way to win a couple of these ranked matchups and only have maybe one loss to their schedule, which I believe their one loss might only come against Oregon, then this is a team that could potentially make the playoffs. The spread is USC minus 6.5. And I'd be willing to probably take that spread. I think USC is going to win this game pretty comfortably, even though it is in Illinois. I don't trust Illinois and Luke Altmaier, not by a chance.
Right.
Russell Spot, are you still going to take USC here?
Yeah, based off what I saw next week, they gotta show me before I pick them in a big game. So I got USC by comfortably.
Same. I got USC
Steve?
winning this. Cause
USC.
yeah.
All right. This is a battle of some undefeated teams. Number 4 LSU versus number 13 Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
How do we see this one going?
I see LSU coming out this game, the way it's looking, because their defense, their defense is playing. They got this. They got this in the bag.
By the way, this is at Ole Miss, so.
Ooh.
And Ole Miss is favored by 2.5.
Dang.
So this is my thing. I think LSU is undoubtedly the better team. But this is what Ole Miss does. I think Ole Miss gets the win, and then they fuck it up the rest and later in the season.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm being honest, I think I'm gonna have to go with Ole Miss. Look, LSU's a better team, but they still got that garbage quarterback Garrett Nussmeier back there.
Oh God.
Sorry, Jock. I don't know if you're watching. My bad. But you kind of know, bro. Like, Jock, your quarterback's cans. Look, I'm gonna take Ole Miss here. I think LSU is gonna be one of the top 4 teams. One of the top 4 teams in the rankings that's gonna fall first. They're gonna fall. I think LSU is gonna fall here. Hey, my bad, Jock.
Just did. Florida State
goes
down.
They went down. They lost.
They lost. Interception.
Wait, Florida
State?
No. Yo.
No, my Tommy Castellanos.
And Virginia is rushing the field. I love college football, man.
My Tommy Castellanos. Oh man, I had so much stock invested.
Nah, Arizona State got 14 points right now. Arizona, they're playing TCU right now, and
my Tommy Castellanos stock has gone down. It's plummeted.
Their running back got a touchdown. Jeremy Payne got a touchdown from I think it's either TCU. Yeah, he got a touchdown.
So we all got Ole Miss.
Yeah, I got Ole Miss.
Yeah. Okay. This one's another one noteworthy of talking about. Auburn, Texas A&M. Ooh, this one's gonna be tough.
It is, yeah.
Auburn last week we almost saw them beat Oklahoma. They had a 3-0 start on the season. Could they play spoiler here tonight or tomorrow to Texas A&M, who's favored by 7.5 at home? Texas A&M's at home. Man. Could they play spoiler to Texas A&M? Number 9, Texas A&M. Yep.
So I kind of alluded to it earlier. Auburn's going to play spoiler here.
Right.
I think this is the first one where they strike first. Their first loss on the team. I got Auburn sneaking out of College Station.
I'm gonna take A&M. I think A&M's a good enough team to get this to kind of keep this thing going. A&M, Marcel Reed has been amazing so far to start the season. I think he gets it done. I do like Jackson Arnold. I think he's so far done a great job over at Auburn. Obviously, he was if I'm not mistaken, he was a quarterback for Oklahoma, correct? For like a year or two. I didn't really
Yes.
like him in Oklahoma. I thought I didn't think he was that great, but he has been so far good here at Auburn. But I'm gonna take Texas A&M. They're at home. I think they'll take this. You know, I think they'll be I think they'll win probably by anywhere between 7 to 10 points. So, T.
Yeah, I think I'm going. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go Auburn because that game to me it could end it either. I feel like that game is probably gonna be like a shootout. To me personally,
Okay.
it's gonna be a shootout based on what I've
Okay.
seen from both teams playing. When I watch the highlights, it's gonna be a shootout.
So I want to bring this one up. This one isn't on the schedule for us to talk about, but I just want to bring this up because I think this could be noteworthy. Ohio State and Washington. Another
Ohio.
battle of undefeated teams. Ohio State is favored by 8.5, but Washington's at home.
Mhm.
Is there a
Oh,
scare here for Ohio State?
right.
I'm gonna say no, only because that I think it's taking another year before that Washington program comes together a little bit better since they
Okay.
lost Michael Penix and
Yeah. So it was Mark Penix.
Kalen. Um, yeah, I got Ohio State. Uh,
Okay.
I want to say
Yeah.
T?
comfortably, but you never know. It could be a scare, but regardless, I got Ohio State winning.
Right. I got Ohio State.
You got Ohio State. Okay. I'm also taking Ohio State. I just thought I'd mention this one because this is a potential scare. Washington's at home. They've looked pretty good this year.
Right.
Ohio State, they still have they still have a pretty green quarterback in Julian Saying. I'm not too sold on him yet.
Yeah, I can't get
Um,
behind him either. It's hard for me to get behind him. It's gonna take some time for me to get behind him.
and Washington, obviously they haven't played the greatest competition, but they are rolling. Like Ann said, this will be a close game. This will give Ohio State that scare. I think Ohio State will still pull it out, but this will be a little bit of a scare game for
Right.
Ohio State. Could
Exactly.
Washington pull it out? Oh, undoubtedly they could.
Right.
But I do believe Ohio State pulls off this victory, not in a dominant fashion. I think this will be a lot closer than people are gonna give it credit for.
Right.
Oh man, now we're gonna get into potentially the two games of the day. One of them is a whiteout over at Happy Valley, Penn State, Oregon. Is Penn State finally gonna get a win over a top 6 opponent? Because this has been a very, very this has been something that James Franklin has not been able to overcome over the last couple of years. Does
Right.
Penn State finally get a win over a top 6 opponent?
As much as I wanna give it to him this year, I want to say Oregon sneaks out of Happy Valley, but
Hmm.
I'm not mad if I'm wrong though.
See?
Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go with Penn State because if they pull it out, I would be very, very surprised. I would be very surprised if they pull it out against Oregon because
So obviously,
they're 4-0 right now. So I have to go with Penn State. I have to go with Penn State at this point.
all right. So obviously, I'm a Penn State fan. I've been watching them very closely. I don't think they've looked particularly uh their peak form. But it's not like they've played the greatest competition in the
Yeah,
world.
Right.
Um, and Oregon, if I were to really look at Oregon's schedule, I don't believe that they've also played
yeah.
anybody of importance either. I think this is the first. I think this is the first game of importance that either of these two teams are playing. Um, if I'm being honest, taking my bias aside, I think this is gonna be Really, really crazy game.
Yeah.
Penn State is currently favored -3.5. But if I'm being honest, not many teams go into Penn State at night for a whiteout game and actually win.
Right.
I'm going to take Penn State. I think the environment is gonna get to Dante Moore and the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very tough for Oregon to play in this environment. This is as great of an environment as any in the history of college football. Um, there's like I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the record for Penn State in a whiteout game at night it's a pretty substantial record. Not many teams have actually come in. I think Ohio State maybe is one of the few teams that has come in and actually beat them on a whiteout at night. But this is a tough team to play. They haven't played their best yet, but their defense it's an elite level defense. And obviously they got probably the best running back tandem in the country with
Right.
Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. Drew Aller has looked particularly pedestrian to start the year. But I do want to give props to Dante Moore and that crew over at Oregon. They are good. But this is where I do believe experience is going to come into play. Dante Moore is only a sophomore. I do believe this is his first year actually starting as a quarterback of this team. Actually, he played in 2023. He played at UCLA, but look, I'm just gonna say that I do believe that Dante Moore is gonna face a lot of pressure in this game. James Franklin's defense is gonna probably come to play. This is gonna be a really close defensive game. I know we are talking about James Franklin, but James Franklin will find a way to choke, but not this early in the season. Not yet. If I'm being honest, I think he'll find a way to choke in the Ohio State game more than anything. This one, I think Penn State will finally get a win over a top 6 ranked opponent. It's been a while since we've actually had one, but I think this is the game where James Franklin kind of writes off those demons, and we start to see some confidence from this group and potentially try to find their footing. And really, now they're going to go on a stretch of they're going to play UCLA over the next couple of weeks. They have a pretty easy stretch, if I'm being honest. They got UCLA, they got Northwestern, they got Iowa before they face Ohio State. So they got a couple of games before they can, they're going to play some tougher competition, because then the last couple of weeks of the season, they're going to play teams like Ohio State, they're going to play Indiana, they're going to play Michigan State, which is a tough, they're going to be a tough out, and then Nebraska, they're going to be a tough out, and then they're going to end the season off with Rutgers, which should be, pretty easy.
Yeah.
But over the next couple of weeks after they, hopefully they do beat Oregon, they're going to get a couple of weeks of some mediocre football from, mediocre teams. But I think this is a win that could definitely set Penn State up for the rest of the year. So if they win this game, they get rid of some demons, they go into the rest of the year and hopefully primed to potentially make that playoff push that they've been waiting for a very long time. Now we get into the other game of the day, which this one's going to be bonkers. If this game is anything like last year's, this is going to be game of the year already, and I don't know if anything's going to come close to it. If you know, Alabama, Georgia at Georgia. Georgia's favored by -2.5. Alabama hasn't impressed me this year. Obviously, they have 2 wins against really mediocre squads. They did lose to FSU, who FSU just lost tonight.
Yeah.
But yes, and Penn State hasn't beat a top 6 team since 2016. So hopefully they conquer those demons tomorrow night. But yes, this is going to be a classic. Alabama and Georgia. How do you guys feel about this one? And who do you guys got coming out of this one?
So last year, this was a crazy game. I'll just give you a breakdown. Going into the half, Bama went up 30-7, but by the end of the game, it was 41-34. This is not the same Alabama team. This is also not the same Georgia team. I'll give them that. Right. But Georgia's at home this time. I think it's gonna be close, and I think Georgia's gonna run away with it in the end.
The fact that this game is at the same time as Penn State and Oregon, I don't even know why these two games are even at the same time.
Exactly.
It's gonna be really hard to kind of pay attention to either of these games on either screen, just because I mean they're both at the same time. So T, what do you see here with this game?
For me, I see Georgia coming out this game, but at the same time, it's like Stockton. I really kind of hope he pulls it off, because it's like ever since like Carson Beck left, low key Georgia hasn't been the same since. But in the same sense, I see Georgia coming out with the win, with the upset.
Okay, obviously Georgia's at home this year. Georgia so far, if I were to say, I think they've looked, mediocre to start the year.
Yeah.
They beat Marshall by a landslide, but Austin P, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
They, it was tough, and they almost lost to Tennessee. This Alabama team hasn't been the greatest team this year. They haven't been the Alabama of old. The mystique that Alabama used to have isn't the same. Nobody really fears Alabama anymore. Alabama's about to come into a raucous crowd over in Georgia, Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
I want to see what these guys are made of. I want to see what Gunnar Stockton is made of.
Yeah, I'm curious about too.
Ty Simpson has to come into this game and he has to show out. But so does Gunnar Stockton.
His one crazy game on the
Gunnar
road.
Stockton, yeah, because I gotta see his. Let me pull up his stats so far.
So, and this is going to be a test for Alabama. If Alabama can come out here and they can win this game, they can cement themselves as yet again one of the elite of the SEC.
Right.
But if they lose this game, they're going to fall to 2-2 on the season, and they're going to be looking at themselves like we have an uphill battle to climb to even potentially touch the postseason. Because if I'm being honest, if they were to lose this game, their room for error is very, very minimal. They're only going to be able to lose one game the rest of the stretch. So I do believe Georgia is the better team.
Yeah.
I do believe they're going to have the advantage. I do also believe that Georgia has a mental advantage currently on Alabama. I know Alabama is thinking of that game from last year. They let it go. Georgia ended up winning. And with all that being said, the team that I'm going to pick to win this game, I think this is going to be a really close game. Give me Alabama. I think Alabama is gonna come out here and they're gonna show that they're probably not the same team they were once before.
Right.
But I think Alabama does get that one signature win every year. And I'm gonna pick that they're gonna get this win in Georgia. And people are gonna start to look at Alabama as a team that could potentially cause some problems in the college football playoffs.
Yeah. And I pulled up Gunnar Stockton's stats after the current season right now. So right now he has 721 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His quarterback rating is 89.1, and he's in 5th place as of right now in 2025. His current stats right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think Alabama, they're gonna think about last year, and obviously, like I said, I do believe Georgia has the mental advantage.
Right.
But Alabama, Kalen DeBoer is going to have these guys ready. They lost a couple of weeks ago in embarrassing fashion to Florida State. They don't want to do that again. I think Alabama has to come out firing, and Alabama has to come out how they came out last year in that game against Georgia. The only thing is they have to close the door completely on Georgia, because you can't let Kirby Smart's team have any type of breathing room.
They almost ruined it.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna pick Alabama, because I do believe that Alabama is gonna get a signature win this year, and I think the signature win is gonna be against a team that they fell short to last year in a classic of a game, and I do believe that Ryan Williams is gonna have a monster game. I do believe Ryan Williams, like last year, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna have a monster game this time around. I'm gonna take Alabama in this game. This is gonna be close. This is these two games at the 7:30 slot. Penn State, Oregon, Alabama, Georgia. These are going to be very close games, and we could potentially be seeing two classics on different sides of the spectrum. I think this game Alabama, Georgia will be more on the higher scoring side, while Penn State and Oregon will be a more defensive battle. But you'll get both sides of the
Yeah,
spectrum for either one of these games at this specific time slot.
right. I'm going with I'm going with Georgia. As much
I'll stick with Georgia, but Bama. If Bama sneaks a win,
Bama, I
I'm gonna
gotta be
pick Bama for
careful. I gotta
N7.
pay a
Yeah,
close. Yeah, I gotta pay close attention to how Bama plays tomorrow. That's the thing.
Obviously, people have been kind of dismissing Alabama due to
they
them
win.
not being the
They
same,
shouldn't be
but
so worried.
Nick
Yeah.
Saban, yeah, since Nick Saban.
but they still are Alabama, and this is a team who finds a way every year to
Right.
get signature wins. So
That's true.
if we're being completely honest, that Alabama could potentially steal this game, I think it's a real possibility. They're going to be thinking about what happened last year, and I think that it's a real thing that they can come into Athens and they can steal this game.
Right. And watch, I'm nervous, but yeah, I gotta pay close attention to this game and how it plays out.
Chat, quick
You know-
summary for tomorrow. Your slate is looking like USC Illinois at 11. On top, have your YouTube TV multi-screen ready because Notre Dame and Arkansas. I feel like that's gonna be somewhat good. It's at Arkansas. And
Oh
if
yeah,
Notre Dame
Notre
loses
Dame,
that,
Arkansas, yeah.
it's done.
Georgia Tech, Wake
Watch
Forest
Georgia,
could be.
watch Georgia Tech. Just keep an eye on
Yeah,
them.
I've been
They're
keeping an
still
eye on
undefeated.
Georgia Tech. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Vanderbilt and Utah State should be a Vanderbilt win.
Yeah.
But then at 2:30 you got A&M Auburn, Ohio State Washington, Ole Miss LSU, Indiana Iowa, and then just like not even an hour later you got
Tennessee,
Tennessee at
Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
State, which Mississippi State might be one of those spoiler teams.
Right.
And then of course the
Iowa
games we just
State,
talked about.
Arizona.
I mean,
Iowa State, Arizona could be another one that's
Another good one. These Big 12 games
another
are
good
good
one.
all year. Yeah.
these Big 12 games, yeah.
Okay, we talked about college football. Now we're gonna get into some NFL talk. NFL season so far, it's been interesting. There's a couple of games that we could talk about here,
Right.
and one of the main games I do want to talk about because I think this one's very interesting is the Eagles and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are gonna go into this week, and they're not gonna have Mike Evans. It's a possibility that they have Chris Godwin back this week. It's a possibility that they have Tristan Wirfs back this week. As we know, the Buccaneers have been facing injury problems all year, especially to their offensive line. The Buccaneers, will they have enough to beat the Eagles? Buccaneers are at home.
Yeah, and then I think Vita Vea is coming back too on Sunday. I believe Vita Vea.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Let's see. Let me see what the injury report looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vita Vea is he's good. He's good to go. But yeah, what do you think, T. Marie? Can the Buccaneers pull it out?
Or honestly, the way I'm looking at it, I think the Buccaneers are gonna pull it off. From like, if I look at it from a if I look at it from the Eagles standpoint, the secondary is not so good because you got Coop, you got Adore, we got a whole bunch on that defensive line, that Eagles defensive line. But the front line is good, but it's just like the secondary is bad as far as like the Eagles concerned. But my concern is with Baker Mayfield, because I remember that one game that they actually beat the Eagles.
Yeah, they've had the Eagles number over the last couple of years. By the way, Kalani Jordan won the TNA knockout title.
Wow. Okay.
He won the knockout title. So, but yeah, so this game is interesting. I don't know if the Buccaneers will win. I do have the Eagles winning, but I do believe the Bucs are going to make this game tough. I will say is if Chris Godwin does come back, you're still, he still has a really good wide receiving core. Does Baker Mayfield? I do believe they also have a really good, really nice running back tandem. They're about to get Tristan Wirfs back. Their defense is still pretty good. Obviously, they're a team you don't want to run the ball on. And Saquon Barkley hasn't been the same Saquon as last year. Obviously, he's getting less carries.
Right.
But I'm interested to see I'm interested to see how the Bucks handle this game.
Right.
You know, Emeka has turned into a really good wide receiver to start the season. I want to see what Chris Godwin looks, even though Chris Godwin hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
Yes, Kalani did win. But I want to see what he looks like. I do want to see what Chris Godwin looks like in his first game back in a while. He hasn't played in I think since like mid last year. But I do want to see what it looks like. Obviously, Baker Mayfield has looked like every bit of an MVP candidate as you can see in this league. But will the Bucks win? I don't know. So far this season, they've looked good. Last week, obviously, they beat the Jets. They beat the Jets, you know, in a crazy game.
They beat the
Baker Mayfield.
Texans. They beat the Texans. That
Yeah. So they have some pretty good wins so far, and they've all been by one score. Baker Mayfield has had to, you know, put this team on his back, and he's had to take them downfield, and he's done a really good job of that. Baker Mayfield to me has looked like every bit of an MVP candidate. He's been really good this year. This is probably his best year in the league thus far. But you know, I won't say that until this year is completely done. But thus far, he's showing like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like he's maybe one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough team. This is gonna be a tough game for the Eagles. I hope the Eagles don't come into this game thinking, oh, just because they don't have Mike Evans and some of the injuries they're facing, that we're just gonna come in here and just, you know, think this game doesn't mean nothing.
Right.
Because the Bucks are home. They're at home. They're gonna be comfortable. It's gonna be really interesting to see how the Philadelphia Eagles come into this game. And if Jalen Hurts and this offense can't get going, it's gonna be a long day for them. Because you know the Bucks are gonna want to score, and they're really aggressive. They're really aggressive offense.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's the Philly game. I want to talk about this Browns and Lions one. This one's interesting. This one's interesting to me because so the Lions are favored by 10.5, but I'm not sure that 10.5 is. I don't know if they're really going to win by 10.5. This Browns defense is looking like one of the 3 or 4 best defenses in the league.
Right.
They just, you know, they just got a win over the Green Bay Packers, who the Green Bay Packers were looking like the best team in the NFL through the first 3 weeks of the season. So, will this game be a lot tougher for the Lions than we expect? Probably. I don't think the Lions are going to put up the points that they've put up the last 2 weeks. Obviously, they have a 50 bomb, and then they put up almost 40 against the Ravens. I don't believe they'll do any of that. But this is interesting. I do believe the Lions will walk out with a win. The Lions are back. For everybody who thought that the Lions were going to struggle this season, I know a lot of people thought that they were going to struggle. You can throw that out of the window. I think the Lions they're back. Their mojo is back. Obviously, they have a new offensive coordinator. They have a new defensive coordinator. So it took them a couple of weeks to really figure out what their offense could look like. And I think when they beat the brakes out of the Bears, that was the week when they finally had their foot on the gas and they finally knew what their identity was. Yeah. Obviously, their identity is still running the ball. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are the 2 guys that they're going to rely on.
Sonic and Knuckles.
And, you know, then they're going to have, obviously, they still have Sam Laporta. They still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They still have Jameson Williams. Yeah. But the core of their offense is the offensive line and running the ball. And then they can run that play action with Amon-Ra. They can run the play action with Jameson Williams and with Sam Laporta. They have a slew of weapons on this team. Jared Goff is as good as any quarterback who doesn't get pressured. Obviously, when he does get pressured, he becomes a shell of himself. But that's honestly with almost any quarterback in the league. But Jared Goff is as good as any quarterback who doesn't get pressured. This is an interesting game. I'm still going to take the Lions though.
Same.
Another game that I want to talk about is the Vikings and the Steelers. This is the very early morning game on Sunday. This is a 9:30 in the morning game. This is emanating from Dublin, Ireland.
The first overseas game of the season, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. So the Vikings obviously coming into this game, still no JJ McCarthy. They're gonna have Carson Wentz back there. This defense obviously pummeled Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals last week. Will they do the same to the mediocre Steelers? Because even though they are 2-1, this team has been very mediocre. Their defense isn't what it used to be, and on
Right.
top of that, their offense is kind of middling. They don't have a number one wide receiver. I know people will like to look at DK Metcalf, but he hasn't been what they brought him in for. Like, he hasn't been the superstar wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers thus far has been pretty solid, and
Yeah.
Jalen Warren has been solid, but this team hasn't looked all that great. If I'm being honest, like their 2-1 record is low-key feels like a scam. Um, do the Vikings get it done here? Do they beat the Steelers?
That's a tough question because I think with the Steelers week 1, the way they were playing against the Jets, the defense, I'm gonna be honest, the defense was looking terrible. The Steelers defense was looking terrible against the Jets. I just call it that because how are they gonna? I wonder. The question is how are they gonna pull it off? Because you got their defense, you got Jalen Ramsey, you got who else? You got Darius Slay, you got Beanie Bishop, you got Deshaun Elliott, you got TJ Watt, you got Cam Hayward, you got Peyton Wilson, a whole bunch of them. But can they pull it off? Because it's like they got to deal with Jettas, they got to deal with, of course, they got to deal. Now Jordan Addison's back from suspension, so I'm curious to see how he's gonna play now that he's off suspension.
I think so. I think obviously the Vikings have an elite defense, and they have a really good offensive line. Obviously, Christian Darrisaw's back.
Yeah.
But my concern is with Carson Wentz because you say all these
Yes.
receivers, Justin Jefferson and all these guys. That's cool, but like you need somebody to get him the ball, and I don't really have confidence in Carson Wentz if I'm really
Part of
being
me is
truthful
like,
here.
Carson Wentz, it's not gonna look too good. It's not.
I'm actually gonna take the Steelers in this game. I know the Vikings have the better team,
right.
but at the same time, it does concern me. You know, the Vikings aren't playing the Bengals again. They're not playing Jake Browning. They're not playing this team that just really isn't going to be good the rest of the year because they're not going to have their star quarterback. They're playing an Aaron Rodgers who's still playing pretty good. And, maybe they can, I don't want to say that the Steelers defense is going to be bad the rest of the year.
Right.
But I think they can tighten up some things here, and this is the game to do it. This is a game where you can tighten up your defense and you can play conservative offense, really play through your defense, and because you have a lot of star players over on your defensive end of the ball.
Right.
Make sure you tighten this up. Mike Tomlin's a great head coach. Like Ant said, I think the defense is concerning, but I think this is one of the weeks where you can start to find the footing of how your defense is going to look the rest of the year. If you're going to go another game, if the Vikings go in there and they just absolutely trounce, are running all over this Steelers defense with Carson Wentz as the quarterback, that's an issue to me. I think this is the game where the Steelers can really lock in,
right,
and not give up, not give up, yards to Carson Wentz. I understand you have Justin Jefferson and you have Jordan Addison, you have T.J. Hockenson, one of the most elite wide receiver groups in the league, but at the same time, the guy throwing them the ball isn't the greatest quarterback. He's not a world beater by any means.
Exactly.
So if the Steelers really want to find their identity on defense, this is the game to do it, and I think they're going to do it. This is a neutral field. They're not playing at anybody's home. So I do think the Steelers will get this done in a really close game. I think this will be like a 16-13 win.
Right.
It'll be a very close, very defensive battle. None of these teams are going to put up a bunch of points. Yeah, this will be a close game.
Yeah.
I do believe that this will be a close game. But I know you're a Steelers fan. If I'm you, I'm not really too concerned unless I start to see Carson Wentz really picking apart this defense, then I'd be really concerned. Because through the first three weeks, let's look at the Steelers schedule. Obviously, they play the Jets week 1, but week 1 to me is it's a hard week to grade for me, just because it's the first week. You can get shocking wins. You can really get a lot of shocking things in that week. So week 1 for me is a really hard one to grade. Week 2, look, whatever people wanted to say about the Seahawks week 2, you can completely throw it out the window. I didn't even think the Seahawks were gonna look great. They've looked great so far through the first 4 weeks of the year. The Patriots, which are my team, they made the Patriots look awful. I mean, and the Patriots just aren't good. So they made the Patriots look awful, and they still aren't really all that great. So I think because the Vikings don't have a legit quarterback, I still do believe they can make Carson Wentz look pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Steelers in this one. I think they'll win a really close game, 16-13.
I'm taking the Steelers because it's like Carson Wentz. I think to me personally, it's gonna be trouble. It's gonna be hard for Carson Wentz. Not looking at it from a different perspective. Yeah, you got all these star receivers, all that the Vikings offense. But my thing is, can Carson Wentz pull it off? We're just gonna have to find out Sunday.
Okay, I want to talk about this game because this one's really interesting. Jaguars and Niners. The Niners are going to go into this game. No Nick Bosa, he's done for the year. Is Mac Jones? I don't know. I think Mac Jones is still still playing. No, Mac Jones is not playing. I think Brock Purdy's actually going to play this week.
Yeah.
So Brock Purdy is back. But they still do have some injury concerns. Jacksonville is. I don't even know what to think of them because 1 week they look good, the next week I don't even know what to think of this team. You know, they're facing the Niners. The Niners are at home. The Jaguars looked pedestrian against the Texans. It didn't look good. Trevor Lawrence has actually not looked good this whole year. The Jaguars realistically haven't looked good at all this year. Their 2-1 record is only due to the competition that they faced. They faced the Bengals, the Panthers, and then the lowly Texans. As much as I want to say Jacksonville's going to win this game, I think I do believe the 49ers are probably just going to walk away with this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jaguars, realistically, I know the Niners don't have Nick Bosa and they're facing a bunch of injury concerns, but the Jaguars don't scare me and they shouldn't scare anybody. They suck.
Yeah.
You think the same thing, T?
Yeah. I just can't. I just can't get behind Trevor Lawrence. I'm sorry. I just can't. That's just me personally. I can't get behind Trevor Lawrence.
So before I do get into the game of the day, this is like, to me, outside of the game of the day, this is the most. Quick question: is it time to say T-Law is a bust? Yeah, I think it's about time. His number 1 overall pick, we projected to be, a really elite level quarterback, and he hasn't been that. He was literally that for maybe a year, and that was it. He hasn't lived up to his expectations, so he's a bust. He's a bust in the sense that he hasn't lived up to his expectations. Now, this game I do want to talk about because I do believe this one's worth talking about. The Colts facing the Rams in LA. The Colts have been the surprising team of the NFL this year. They're 3-0. They have one of the best offenses in the league. They boast one of the best defenses in the league. Shane Steichen has this team ready to go. Daniel Jones is looking like comeback player of the year. Not only that, but he's also having an MVP level season thus far through 3 weeks. The Rams have just come off of a really devastating loss to the Eagles where they were up 26-7 in the third quarter. They should have never lost that game.
Right.
They didn't keep their foot on the gas, and hence the reason they did lose that game. Do the Colts get it done here in LA?
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't believe in the Colts, honestly. I just didn't believe. Well, I just didn't believe in Daniel Jones. Like, Jonathan Taylor's great, and I think this team. I thought the team around him was great. I just didn't think Daniel Jones was that guy.
Right.
It's just what it is. To be fair, there's no combat that they're gonna run away with that division. Like, they're probably. If they win this game, not to cut you off, T. Marie, but if they win this game, they go ahead and they beat the Rams. I could confidently see them winning 12 games this year. Like, confidently.
Right.
Maybe, like, being one of the best teams in the AFC. That's how good they're probably going to be. Because they're going to, first off, they're going to probably sweep their division. The only team that they might not sweep is Actually, never mind. They're gonna sweep every team in this division. They're gonna sweep the Jaguars. They're gonna sweep the Texans. Who
Yeah.
else is in their division?
The Titans.
Oh yeah, they're
Right.
gonna sweep this division.
Yeah.
So they're probably gonna win like 12 games. But go ahead, T.
So I'm looking from my standpoint with this game right here, because when I was looking at this matchup, part of me is like this game it's gonna be scary. I'm kind of scared for the Rams, the way I'm looking at it, because it's like, yeah, you got Puka, you got Kyron, you got Devontae, and down the defense you got Jared. But at this point, I feel like with the Colts, the way they're playing, it's gonna look like an upset for the Rams. That's I'm going with the Colts on this one, because this game is pretty scary.
The Rams have looked great. Obviously, they have that game against the Eagles where they kind of took their foot off the gas. But I think through the most part of the season, they've looked great. They've looked like one of the best teams in the league. The Colts have as well.
Yeah.
This is like I said, this is a home game for the Rams. This one can go either way for me. But man, I love me some Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
I love me some Michael Pittman. I love me some Alec Pierce. I love me some Adonai Mitchell. Let me get the Colts, man. I think the Colts are gonna walk out of here 4-0. I think they're gonna win this game. Unfortunately for the Rams, I do believe the Colts are gonna walk out with this. Here's the thing, is Jonathan Taylor's on a mission again to remind everybody this year that he wants to go for the offensive player of the year. This guy's off to an electrifying start to his season. This offensive line is also really great. I think when you pair Jonathan Taylor's run game and this Shane Steichen offense along with Daniel Jones, this play action pass that they run, and Daniel Jones really being patient back there in the backfield, making sure his receivers get open. Michael Pittman is still a really good premier wide receiver. Obviously, he's not talked about in the highlight that a lot of these other guys get talked about. I don't even believe Michael Pittman's a top 10 receiver in the league. He might be somewhere in the 15, maybe 20. He's not talked about that much, but he's still really good as a number one wide receiver. And they also have Tyler Warren, who's obviously really
good. Yeah. He's been looking pretty good from what I've seen. Tyler Warren's been looking pretty good.
This team is really good, and maybe I was wrong. This team was maybe a quarterback away from being really good, and now they have a quarterback that is great in the system. Obviously this is a guy who comes from the Giants system, but we see what the Giants just do to every quarterback not named Eli Manning. They make them look like absolute crap. Right. Sorry, team. I know that's your team.
That's how I feel about the Giants right now. I'm just like,
I mean, they made Saquon, poor guy.
Yeah.
But he got out of that offense, and now, shockingly, he was coached by Brian Daboll, who's a really good offensive mind. But now he's come into a Shane Steichen offense with an actual potent offensive line, and he looks like the second coming of Josh Allen. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts in the win here, even though this could go either way. Yeah. The next game I do want to talk about.
Before we go to the next game,
go ahead.
I found something on ESPN about Jonathan Taylor. He's ranked first in rushing yards, 338 rushing yards on ESPN. He's ranked first, which is he's really shooting for that offensive player of the year. It's really showing.
Great. He's been great this year. He also, he also has the most carries this year. Yeah, he's been a workhorse. The guy's a workhorse. He's only 26 years old, so he's still in his prime years as a running back. Yeah, this guy's a workhorse, and I just think when you pair that up, he already has through the first 3 weeks of the year, he has 200 plus rushing yard games. The only one where he doesn't have 100 plus is week 1, but he just scored 3 touchdowns against the Tennessee Titans, which ridiculous.
Right.
But this guy's been really good. This guy has been really good. So I'm excited for Jonathan Taylor, and I'm really excited for for Daniel Jones to keep doing what he's doing.
Right.
Now we're gonna get into the game of the day. The Ravens at the Chiefs. 1-2, both of them. They've had rough starts, obviously. Very differently though. The Chiefs haven't looked all that great this year. Their only win is against the lowly Giants. Meanwhile, the Ravens have looked good only on one side of the ball. They've been a really good. They boast the league's number one offense. They're scoring almost 40 points a game. The issue is their defense is ranked dead last in the league in almost every imaginable category. Rushing, passing. I mean, they've been terrible on that side of the ball. And now I'll give them this: Matabike hasn't played, who's obviously a really crucial part to their defensive front. But I think this team has suffered from situational play calling. Week 1, they go up 15 points, look like they're about to beat the Bills, and all of a sudden they take their foot off the gas. They just play soft coverages on everything. They allow for the Bills to come back, and you never want to do that against a Josh Allen-led team.
Exactly.
And the biggest thing was, as great as Derrick Henry was, he fumbled the ball in week 1. And here's been my issue. This is why I say this team has suffered from situational play calling. Is if I'm Lamar Jackson, I've got to be just so frustrated because my coach isn't allowing me, who I'm their best player. Lamar Jackson is their best player. He's probably the best player in football currently. They're not giving him the ball on the last couple of plays of the game. They're putting it in other people's hands. They're putting it in Derrick Henry's hands. And I just think that's unfair to the best player in the game. This is the guy who should be closing these games, making the decisions. But Harbaugh clearly just, for whatever reason, hasn't trusted him. You put the ball in crucial moments in Derrick Henry. What does he do? Week 1, he fumbles. Week 2, he has a fumble again. They made that Browns game a lot closer than what it should have been. Week 3, again, against the Lions.
3
fumbles, puts the game out of reach. One thing is, week 3, I do put the loss. As much as I do put it on Derrick Henry, I will put it on Lamar Jackson. Watching that game, it's frustrating to me. And by the way, shout out to the Lions. They played really good defense on Lamar Jackson.
And shout out to Aiden Hutchinson, though.
Shout out to him, too.
Yeah.
That defensive line really came to play, and they did a really good job containing Lamar Jackson from getting out of the pocket. But one thing I will say, it almost seemed like Lamar got sacked 7 times that night, which I think is one of the most times in his career.
Right.
But I was looking at ESPN, and I was looking at the Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were saying was that Lamar Jackson, for over half of those sacks, they were his own inflicted sacks. Like it was like self-inflicted by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Because he held the ball too long.
Yep.
He tried to dance a little. Jelon, he won. Frankie Kazarian, he beat Steve Macklin.
Wait a minute.
For the international
What?
title? Damn.
Oh my gosh.
Finally won something.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Anyways, but yeah, no, it was self-inflicted for Lamar. I thought he played very uncharacteristically, and I do believe that obviously caused them to lose because of he just held the ball a little too long. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Lions had a really good defensive game plan, and on top of that, the Lions just ran the ball down.
Yeah, they was
the
just
Ravens'
locked.
throat.
That defense was locked in, and then
David Montgomery just really was running all over and just did whatever he wanted.
And Jahmyr Gibbs too.
Jahmyr had a couple of runs, but he did start the game off a little slow. But
little
David
wonky.
Montgomery,
Yeah.
David Montgomery was really the one that opened the
taking
gates up
off.
for. But so the summary of the Ravens' first 3 weeks is that this is a team who's beating themselves, and this has been the case the last couple of years. This is a team who a lot of people call the best team in football, but how are they the best team in football when they just constantly beat themselves? And I think that's my biggest issue with the Ravens is this is a team who can clearly beat anybody in the league, could be winning Super Bowls, but it's the mistakes that come in the situations that you should be very careful. And I said this several weeks ago when we were doing the preview of the season. This is the last year with this group. And I'm not saying Lamar Jackson. I'm saying guys like Derrick Henry. I'm saying a majority of guys on the defense. You have to change this group up if you do not get it done this year.
They got to turn it around. They got to turn it around.
And I think you got to start with the coach. You got to fire the coach. I know he's been there for a very long time, but at some point you have to tell yourself, hey, this is our ceiling. This is the best it's gonna get. We have to move on and see if we can surpass our ceiling. Because right now we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And just currently right now, the Ravens, they just beat themselves. They've been doing it. The 2 losses that they have on this year is because they beat themselves. They can't find a way. They can't find a way to win games.
Exactly.
And especially, week 1, you're up 15. You should have won that game.
Exactly.
This past week against the Lions, if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win. Maybe this is their only loss. Hey, maybe they're sitting 2-1, different outlook, okay? But you're sitting 1-2. Now you're going to go to Arrowhead in Kansas City, and you're going to play Patrick Mahomes. Even though that team hasn't looked great, you don't want to fall 1-3.
Yeah.
So my question that I'm going to propose to you, T, is who needs this win more? The Chiefs or the Ravens?
To be honest, I feel like the Ravens need this more. But then it's like, I really think about it from a perspective like of, well, this game, will Derrick Henry fumble? What scares me is if Derrick Henry fumbles the ball again. That's what scares me. And it's gonna it's like concerning because it's gonna be a lot of talk, especially on first take. If he fumbles again, it's concerning for the Ravens. It's concerning me. Something's not adding up with that play calling. Because from what I've noticed from the Ravens playing lately, Lamar's been throwing the ball to Rashad Bateman. He's been throwing the ball to, surprisingly, Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. And now you got Likely coming back. Is this going to be the 4th time Derrick Henry fumbles this ball? It's concerning. It's concerning. They have to win this game. They're going to have to make some changes with that play calling in order to win against the Chiefs. Because that Chiefs D-line is something serious.
So, who do you have winning in this one?
I'm going with Baltimore. This is a must-win for Baltimore. This is a must-win.
All right, so I do believe this is a must-win for Baltimore. I do believe they need this win more. And the reason why I say this is the Chiefs, they're the Chiefs, right?
It's
by this point, made multiple Super Bowls. I don't think if the Chiefs were to lose this game, they're sitting at 1-3. Season's not over. People are still going to be like, "Oh yeah, that team's going to be in the playoffs." Hell, they're almost a lock for the AFC Championship, no matter if they fall 1-3.
Right.
The Ravens is a little bit different. The Ravens, I don't think they can climb out of a 1-3 hole. I think you have to come into this week and you have to win. Because the thing is the Chiefs, I do trust Andy Reid, and I think this team could get better.
Yeah.
The issue is with the Ravens is if you fall 1-3, you're going to fall into a really big hole. And we see what the Ravens look like when they fall into big holes. They make uncharacteristic decisions. They don't play to their strengths. They don't play their style. I do believe the Ravens need this win more, which is why I'm actually going to select the Ravens to actually win this game. Even though it is an Arrowhead, I think if you go into Arrowhead and you get this win, you kind of get a morale booster. You go into the next week of the season and you feel a little bit better about yourself, and you think, okay, I dug myself out of this hole. Now we just need to course correct, and we're good. Now we have smooth sailing for the rest of the season. But I do believe if you lose this game, if you're the Ravens, I do believe that it's going to be tough. And Harbaugh is going to be on a hot seat if they do lose this game. they'd fall to 1-3. It's not a good look. Obviously, Lamar and how great this team is and how talented it is. I do believe they can get out of the hole, but I'd rather them start 2-2 instead of 1-3,
right.
because then it becomes a big issue.
It is exactly.
And especially because this team's defense doesn't look good. And I don't know how much better. I don't know how much better it's going to get. Maybe this is the defense we see all year. By the way, I just want to say this right now. I don't think we're going to be looking at a top 10 defense in the league. Can they get more towards the mean? Can they get more towards like the median where they become maybe they become a top 18 defense? All I need for the Ravens is to become a decent defense, right?
Right.
Become middle of the pack, 17, 18, 20. Because then it gives Lamar and this offense, who, like I said earlier, highest scoring offense in the league, they're going to score points on you. Lamar's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league currently. This is a guy who doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't even have a turnover on the year yet.
Right.
He's currently 10 interceptions to no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles, no nothing.
Right.
So he's very efficient and he doesn't make mistakes. So because this is a team that scores a lot of points, they're going to be in a lot of shootouts because their defense can't hold up. But can their defense even become just a middle of the pack defense? If they can, this team's going to have a shot to realistically make the Super Bowl. But if this team keeps being one of the worst defenses of the year, we may be looking at a situation where we're looking at a 2025, then we're looking at a version of what the Bengals were last year. Maybe not as bad because, I don't believe that the Ravens will be 9-8 or whatever. I think that's what the Bengals finished off last year. I don't believe they'll be that bad, but there'll be a lot of concerns heading into the playoffs. So can the Ravens get back to being just a middle of the pack defense, and can their offense stay number one in the league? And I believe their offense can. Now I just need to see what their defense can do.
Yeah. Like with the Ravens, as far as like the Ravens, I feel like this game right here, them playing the Chiefs, to me personally, I think Harbaugh's job is going to be in hot water. This is the test where Harbaugh's job is going to be in hot water. Because this is a must-win game. And I think them losing to Detroit, I think it's a wake-up call. It's going to be a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call.
Yep. And so the Chiefs, this game doesn't mean a lot to them just because, they've had Baltimore's number for years. Mahomes has had Lamar's number for years. Lamar probably is thinking to himself. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not. But I'd say that the Chiefs have a psychological advantage over the Baltimore Ravens. And the Chiefs are even at home too. So, that's even more of a psychological advantage over the Ravens. I think the Ravens have to come into this week with more desperation. If I'm Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, if I win this game, great. If I lose this game, whatever. We move on. I'm pretty sure nobody's really going to bat an eye. Especially, obviously the Chiefs have a very tough schedule for over the next couple of weeks. They're going to face a team like the Lions. They're going to face the Jaguars over the next couple of weeks. They're going to face
Denver.
They're facing Denver over the next couple of weeks. They do have a tough schedule, but I don't think anybody's really going to be like, if the Chiefs lose this game, it's over for them. People aren't going to really say that. The Chiefs are still in really good position. They control their destiny. They'll be fine. The Chiefs. Let me pull up the Chiefs schedule. Just to see what it is who they play over the next couple of weeks, because I know the Lions are in that mix. So for the next couple of weeks, they're going to play the Chiefs. They're going to play the Jaguars, the Lions, the Raiders, Commanders, and Bills. Not the greatest schedule. The Lions obviously have their mojo. The Jaguars, not a good team, honestly. The Raiders, no. Commanders is interesting. Commanders is interesting just because of Jaden Daniels. Will he be back by that time? I think he will. That's only a couple of weeks down the road. And then they got the Bills at Buffalo. Right. That's one that you really have to look out for. So the Chiefs, they'll be fine. If they lose this game, it's whatever. Nobody's going to be counting them out.
Right.
Now, the last game that I do want to talk about is the one that's going to happen on Sunday night at Jerry World. This is going to be a blowout. The Packers at the Cowboys. If there was ever a game where Micah Parsons is just gonna go off and destroy, it's this game.
Right.
I do believe Micah Parsons is gonna go in there in a Jerry World, and he's gonna insert his dominance. I think he's gonna get a couple sacks in the game. You know, this is Wrestle Spot's team, the Cowboys. You know, he does love them.
Love is a strong word.
Nah, as a Giants fan, this is gonna be interesting to watch. As a Giants fan, it's gonna be interesting to watch. How did
Wrestle Spot, man. I know you love Jerry World, man.
I like the stadium. Love my favorite thing. But
You love the Cowboys?
I love football. How about that?
I know you don't watch much of the NFL, but what do you think Micah Parsons is gonna do Sunday night to
kill Dak, man?
This is good.
Every play, man. That's tough.
This is gonna be so. By the way, the Cowboys are not gonna have CeeDee Lamb.
Nope.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's George Pickens and
Turpin.
you know, and hopefully God, George
Right.
Pickens and God. You know, they're gonna have to hope that God can save them from this ass whooping that they're about to see. They're about to meet the Cowboy Jerry Jones about to meet his maker. If he thought that he was gonna get away with this decision and not be ashamed about it, because hold on, I have to find this because Jerry Jones said some bullshit earlier today that I really want to bring up. So, all right, so this is quoting Jerry Jones on what he said on Facing Micah Parsons. This quote unquote. While he does make great plays, there is also a way to approach playing against Micah. Now, this is where it gets stupid. As we know, we didn't exactly win the Super Bowl those years. Why the hell would you say that? Well, no shit, you didn't win the Super Bowl, but it wasn't because Micah. It's because your incompetency as a damn owner. Your franchise clearly has been the laughingstock of the NFL for the last however many years, 20, 30 years. You guys haven't been to a Super Bowl in almost 3 decades. And you call yourself America's team? You see, this is my issue with Jerry Jones. He wants all of the media. He wants all of the attention on him. Well, guess what? On Sunday night, when Micah Parsons shows up to Jerry World, not in that white and blue, but he shows up in the green and yellow or the green and gold or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
he's gonna whoop y'all ass. And hey, Jerry Jones, you want the attention? You want the media on you?
Be on him every single time.
You're gonna have it every time he gets a sack. Hey, NBC, I know you're listening. Every time he gets a sack, point that camera right up to Jerry Jones.
Right,
show him.
exactly.
And I want to see Jerry Jones' reaction to Micah Parsons just absolutely obliterating Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
And you know what's funny? Micah Parsons still has his suite at the stadium. He still has his damn suite.
Hey, I hope Jerry Jones is praying every night, because God won't be able to save him.
Right, he's living
from what's coming.
World. He's living in Delulu world.
If I'm Micah Parsons, I'm talking to Matt LaFleur. I'm talking to Jordan Love. Let's run up the scoreboard. Let's drop 50 on him. Let's kill him. Let's put him down on the ground.
For real.
Hey, this Sunday night, stamp it. Sunday night, September 28th, is the death of the Dallas Cowboys. As
2025.
Friday, September 28th, 2025. Jerry Jones, it's over. The media, the attention, you know, oh, it's Jerry World. It's Dallas Cowboys Stadium. We America's team. That's getting put to bed. You want to do all this owner malpractice. You want to, all these things that he talks about. Oh, we're going to compete. We're going to compete for Super Bowls. You know what pisses me off the most is these damn fans. These damn Dallas Cowboys fans every year who clamor every year that they're going to be in the Super Bowl, that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? Your Super Bowl is Sunday night.
Exactly.
Because you better pray to God that y'all beat Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers. Because if y'all do beat them, just somehow, some way, then y'all can say y'all have won over on Micah Parsons, that maybe Jerry Jones still has what it takes to be a great owner. Because if by the time that clock hits 0 on Sunday night and y'all lose and y'all get obliterated like I think y'all are going to get obliterated,
belt to ass. That's
BTA,
yeah,
it's
BTA.
over. It's over. This era of the Dallas Cowboys is over.
It's finished. It's
You know, every year Jerry Jones reminds me why he's more like Nico Harrison. You see, Dallas just can't have any good things.
for real.
Dallas ships away Luka Doncic. Dallas ships away Micah Parsons. What are we doing? What's in the air in Dallas? What are these owners doing? You know, what is going on in Dallas?
What's really going on? What's really going on?
Who was worse, 2018, 2019 Vince or current Jerry Jones? Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Oh man, look. I gotta say it's current Jerry Jones. Because this guy is the most delusional piece of garbage that there is in the world. Like, just reading the quote that I just heard today about how, we know how to deal with Micah Parsons. It's not like we won the Super Bowl any of those years. Shut your ass up.
Bro, like Jerry Jones.
Shut your ass up.
Yo.
I don't even know why he's talking like that. Like, y'all had the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. Y'all choked against the Niners. Y'all just stay choking every year. And guess what? It's not even Micah Parsons' problem. It's not his fault. Why? Because he plays for a team. It's not his fault. It's not his fault defense getting shredded. It's not his fault Dak Prescott is playing garbage. It's not his fault.
It's not.
It's not his fault that you hired Mike McCarthy to coach like garbage. It's not his fault.
Exactly. It's not.
And then now you got Brian Schottenheimer.
Like,
who the fuck is he?
For real.
Who the fuck is he? Clearly this team has no identity. They just got waxed. Absolutely waxed by the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, touchdown merchant. The guy has been garbage in the NFL thus far. And the Dallas Cowboys made him look like one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. The dude didn't even get sacked. You want to know what's the craziest side of that game? The Dallas Cowboys had 1 QB pressure the whole game. What happened to the Dallas Cowboys having a great defense? Because Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland, what are y'all doing? Y'all just out there collecting a paycheck? I had said that this team was gonna get killed, was literally gonna get killed from the inside, from a psychological standpoint, and it's starting to happen. And this Sunday, it's gonna come to a head. This Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys will be dead as we know it. Finished.
Cooked.
Jerry Jones, you're gonna sit in your chair on Sunday night and you're gonna watch the evisceration of the team that you started.
And I got a lot of things to say. Jerry Jones, my things with Jerry Jones, he's so stuck of living in the fucking past. This is not the 1980s or some shit. No, this is current 2025. He's living in the Lulu world. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Stephen. I'm just waiting for Stephen A to clown the fuck out of these damn Cowboys fans. But I feel like these Cowboys fans can be, as a Giants fan, looking from Giants fans, these Cowboy fans are delusional as fuck. They think, oh yeah, we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Look what happened. Soon as Michael Parsons got traded to the Cowboys, I see on the internet a bunch of people burning Michael Parsons' jersey. A bunch of this is sad. It's sad. I'm throwing up the X for the Cowboys. Throw up the X. Throwbacks.
It's over.
It's over.
Hey, Spot. I know you're from Texas.
Right.
I want you to watch on Sunday night the evisceration of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm good.
Just watch Micah Parsons do to them. Just look, this is gonna be so bad. Like this is gonna be the equivalent of what Brock Lesnar did to Zach Gowen.
Oh no.
I hope
Like like they don't have like the Dallas Cowboys don't have a dog in this fight.
Right. Exactly.
If they somehow make this game competitive, I'd be very shocked.
Same.
I'd honestly be very shocked. I'm even surprised that the spread is 6.5. Run
Right.
it up.
Run it
Run
up.
it up.
it's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Yes.
Hope Micah lets it all out, man. What you gotta do?
And I think this
Yeah.
game right here, I think this is gonna be Michael Parsons. It's just something Micah. It's gonna be like, "Fuck you, Jerry Jones."
I think this is gonna be a signature game. I
Yeah.
think this will be Micah Parsons' signature game.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be a game where Micah's gonna probably get 3-4 sacks. Dak Prescott's gonna be looking out there, you know, seeing ghosts.
Right.
He ain't gonna know what he's seeing. He's gonna be like, what's that mean? That Jared Allen meme? The lights were too bright.
Right.
He's gonna be just like that. Dak Prescott is gonna be in a post game press conference saying something along the lines of, "Yeah, they were just better than us tonight." Shut your ass up. Yeah, we gotta get back to the drawing board. Season's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Wait, let me pull up the schedule.
What did D'Lo say? Walk in your trap, take over your trap.
Right.
That's literally what Micah Parsons is gonna do. He's gonna walk in that trap, and he's gonna take over that trap. That's not pressure. That's Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones,
count your days.
You're stupid. And you're gonna find out on Sunday night why you don't trade away the best player on your team.
Right.
The best player on your team was not CeeDee Lamb. The best player on your team was not Dak Prescott. The best player on your team was not George Pickens. The best player on your team was definitely not Trayvon Diggs. It was Micah fucking Parsons.
Exactly.
And you traded him away for Kenny Clark?
I forgot what round picks did he trade Kenny Clark for? I forgot how many picks they traded.
I think it was like a second round pick, and I don't know. It wasn't really all that great. The pick is gonna amount to nothing. I think there was a first round pick, but the Packers aren't gonna be that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm looking at the schedule. The Cowboys schedules. After the Packers, they got the Jets. Then they got Carolina. They got Commanders. Then they got Denver. They got Arizona. Then they got the Raiders. Woo! My goodness.
the Cowboys, rude awakening.
Yeah, this is about to be. They're walking into the Lions den right now.
But that's the recap. That's it.
Oh yeah, we forgot to touch on one more game. Another thing, Jackson Dart starting this week, Sunday. Russell Wilson benched for the whole entire season. It's too soon.
Wait.
They play the Chargers this Sunday. The Giants play the Chargers this Sunday.
Wait,
what? What?
No way.
What? What?
Javon Evans versus Leon Slater are bound for glory.
Oh,
For the title.
What?
Nah, what? No, yeah, no. They're in freaking Canada.
They just announced it or what?
Yeah, it's literally on the screen right now.
No.
Javon just sent a video package. Bro, Bound for Glory gonna be like that?
Wait, where's Bound for Glory this year?
It's in Massachusetts.
Lol.
Oh shit. Oh snap.
Well, I mean that's it.
Oh man, should be a fun weekend.
And then wait, yeah, Jackson Dart started this Sunday. That's too soon. Against the Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are probably gonna blow out the Giants. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna be blown out. I'm just like, I'm not even. And the Bills, I don't even gotta say nothing about that Saints and Bills game. That's gonna be a blowout.
yes, that's why I ain't even.
Yeah, it's just certain games that need to be touched upon. Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. Honestly,
Yeah.
covered a majority of the games that were worth covering. So
Oh
that's it.
man,
Yeah.
feel sorry for whoever
Um,
has to work tomorrow. 'Cause there's
I gotta
nothing
work
but
tomorrow.
games all day.
feel
Unfortunately, I
bad,
do
man.
too. But at
But
least
I'm-
I'll get out right before the primetime games. Sunday as well. Got some good games.
Yeah.
What's the Monday night game?
Oh,
Huh. There's two of them. Don't
Oh,
even
isn't there?
worry.
Isn't
I
they
don't
both
even
bad?
care. I don't
They're
even
both
care
bad, right?
about that at this point.
Well, enjoy Saturday, Sunday, y'all.
Yeah.
Sunday we'll be with you with BTBC, our wrestling podcast. Wednesday back with Oversputed, and then right back here on next Friday for talk about everything we just previewed. A lot of questions should be answered then.
Yeah.
With all that being said, shout out to Marie for being here. Shout out to Rod for hosting, carrying NFL for me.
Yes,
And
sir.
fun episode. We will see y'all next week.
All
I'll be safe.